Are you a female suffering from hair loss and sick and tired of looking for the solution that just doesn't seem to exist? So when we are talking about hair loss, a lot of people won't even consider women. Female hair loss is actually just as common as male hair loss. And I want to talk today about how scalp micropigmentation is an effective solution to treat female hair loss and achieve a natural looking result. But I also want to dive into the process and how much it's going to cost. When we perform scalp micropigmentation for women, you can expect to see an increase in hair follicles and density from a scalp micropigmentation. We will commonly treat around the temples, the crown, and the hairline. Some women only suffer from very mild hair loss that affects the way that they can style their hair. Having a micropigmentation treatment will provide a lot of versatility in how you wear your hair and remove any day-to-day nuisances associated with styling your hair in a particular way to conceal your hair loss. We are essentially going to replicate your follicle at the root. We will mix up the pigment to perfectly match your hair color and conceal the scalp in the areas affected by hair loss. Just take a look at these results. They are incredible, doing a lot for females and their confidence, changing the way women view themselves in the mirror. These results are undetectable even up close. So if you guys watching this are located within either Australia or New Zealand, I urge you guys to reach out to us and we can provide some detailed information about your specific case. So if we're talking about the cost for female scalp micropigmentation, it varies. The cost of all my treatments, whether you're male or female, will vary from client to client depending on the severity of the hair loss and how affected the areas are. Most of my treatments for females start at anywhere from as little as 400 Australian dollars and will stretch right through to about 2,000 Australian dollars. Now I know that's a huge price range, and again, it depends on the severity of the hair loss. $2,000 would be your worst case scenario. Somewhere towards the middle or the lower end of that range is where most people are going to fit. Either way, scalp micropigmentation is a great solution that is going to provide a guaranteed result that is long lasting. Here at Scalp Revival, we do offer payment plans for our clients. If you are after a micropigmentation treatment and it's not within your budget, don't let that discourage you from reaching out, because we are able to work together to make sure that you can still receive these awesome benefits from scalp micropigmentation. After your consultation here with us at Scalp Revival, we will then schedule an appointment for your first session. Most treatments are completed over 2 or 3 sessions. Each session, we will be adding a new layer, increasing the density of the treatment and adding to the overall effectiveness and how natural the treatment looks, treating the entire affected area. The pigment that we use here at Scalp Revival is a non-toxic, organic, carbon-based pigment that is diluted down to a custom shade to match your hair follicle at the root. So regardless of what color your hair, a scalp micropigmentation treatment is going to be suitable for you. After we have mixed up the pigment to perfectly match your skin tone and hair color, we will then get into the treatment. The treatment itself is often considered pain-free and relatively easy and quick. We will work through your hair in the areas that are affected by hair loss, depositing the pigment into the epidermis layer. Once all the affected areas have been effectively treated for that session, we will then run you through a brief aftercare guide for you to follow in the next few days. If you would like more information about scalp micropigmentation aftercare, we have a dedicated video to this subject. We will then allow a healing period of 2 to 3 weeks before you come back for your next session. Session 2 is the same process as session 1, but we will make the strength of the pigment slightly darker to contribute to a textured effect. We will then work back through all the affected areas that we have on session 1, working around the impressions from the previous session, adding a second layer. The second layer will make the treatment overall more noticeable, more natural looking, and more effective. Session 2 and potentially a third session are the sessions where you will see the biggest difference. Adding more pigment on these sessions is what will contribute to the density that we require to match your existing hair that's not affected by hair loss. Each session of micropigmentation for females will generally take about 1 to 2 hours. Once we conclude your final session of micropigmentation, we will then assess the results to ensure that we achieve the desired outcome. So I'm often asked, is scalp micropigmentation only suitable for men? The answer to that is simply no. I treat equally as many females as I would men. Scalp micropigmentation is really effective and natural looking for females. I don't know where this misconception comes from that it's a treatment dedicated to suit men. Scalp micropigmentation is a great solution for female hair loss, and it's not only a treatment made for men. Another myth that I'm commonly seeing, or question that I'm getting asked when I'm performing consultations, is will the color of the pigment change? That's simply not the case. If a treatment is performed correctly, your micropigmentation should just fade over time and then be reapplied with a touch-up in 1 to 2 years. If the provider has performed the treatment correctly, the pigment color will not change and should never turn to a blue or a green hue. Another misconception that is associated with micropigmentation is the fact that it's a head tattoo and it's going to hurt. That is simply not the case. A micropigmentation treatment is very non-invasive. We are only depositing pigment into the epidermis layer, which is just below the surface of the skin. We are using micro needles that are absolutely tiny. Most of my clients will describe their experience as slightly uncomfortable, but generally it's never painful. So to conclude, scalp micropigmentation is a great solution for females suffering from hair loss who want a natural result that is long lasting. Thanks for watching this video today, guys. And if you want to check out any of the other videos that we have surrounding scalp micropigmentation, have a look at our channel. Thanks.